Hello, I'm Sarah from Truth, Lies, Betrayal. Welcome to Horror After Dark. Turn down the lights, keep an open mind, and prepare for tonight's nightmare. Let's begin.
I never believed people when they talked about seeing someone who looked exactly like them. It always sounded like one of those internet horror stories designed to keep people awake at night. That changed 3 years ago. At the time, I was 24 and living alone in a small rental house outside town. Nothing special, just a quiet neighborhood, 1 bedroom, thin walls, and neighbors who mostly kept to themselves. I worked late shifts at a warehouse and usually got home around midnight. My routine never changed. Get home, shower, eat something, watch videos until I got tired, then go to bed. The first strange thing happened on a Tuesday. I got home exhausted and tossed my keys onto the kitchen counter. As I passed the hallway mirror, I noticed something odd. My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. At first, I convinced myself I was imagining it. Maybe I'd unconsciously smirked or caught movement weirdly. I stared at myself. The reflection stared back. Everything normal. I laughed at myself and walked away. But the feeling stayed. The next night, something stranger happened. I got home and immediately felt like someone had been inside. Nothing was missing. Nothing moved. But the air felt wrong. I checked every room. Empty. As I passed the bathroom, I caught movement in the mirror. Someone stepped out of frame. I spun around. Nobody. My heart was pounding now. I opened the bathroom. Empty. I stood there staring into the mirror for almost a minute. Nothing. That night, I slept badly. Around 3:17 a.m. I woke up. I don't know why, but I knew something was wrong. My bedroom door was open. I always close it. Then I heard footsteps. Slow. Moving through the hallway. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Silence. I walked out. Nobody. Then I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The hallway mirror. Someone had written on it. In finger marks. Looks better on me. I froze. I lived alone. I cleaned that mirror every weekend. There was no dust to write in. I wiped it away and spent the rest of the night with every light on. The next morning, I checked the front door camera. Nothing. No visitors. No movement. Until 3:16 a.m. The footage glitched. 1 second, empty hallway. Next second, someone standing directly in front of the indoor camera. Me. Same clothes I slept in. Same face. Smiling. The timestamp showed 3:17. I checked my bedroom camera. I was asleep, visible in bed. At the exact same time, I watched both videos again. Bedroom, me asleep. Hallway, me standing perfectly still. After 20 seconds, hallway me leaned toward the camera, then whispered something. No audio, but I could read the lips. You don't wear it right. Then the footage cut. I called in sick and spent the day trying to explain it. Sleepwalking. Camera error. Anything. That evening, I stayed at my friend Eric's apartment. I didn't tell him everything. Just said I felt weird. At around midnight, Eric looked over and asked, "Didn't you say you were staying here tonight?" "Didn't." I laughed nervously. Then he looked confused. "Then who was outside earlier?" I asked what he meant. He said around 10 he looked out his apartment window and saw me standing by my car. Not moving. Just staring up. He assumed I was on the phone. But when he checked again, nobody. I didn't sleep. The next morning I went back to my house to collect clothes. The moment I opened the front door, I stopped. Every mirror in the house had been turned toward the walls. Bathroom. Hallway. Bedroom. All except one. The hallway mirror. Written again. Try again. I packed what I could and left. I never stayed there again. The landlord later claimed the house had been empty for days after I moved. No break-ins. Nothing unusual. Eventually, someone else rented it. 6 months later, I got a message request online. No profile picture. No posts. One image attached. It was a photo taken inside my old hallway. Standing in front of the mirror was me, smiling. The message said, "Almost had it." I deleted it, changed accounts, moved cities. I never looked into it again. But sometimes, usually when I'm brushing my teeth late at night, I catch myself smiling. And for a second, I can't remember if I started smiling first. I never believed in haunted objects. I'm 26, live alone, work remotely, and my apartment is exactly the kind of place people describe as minimalist when they really mean empty. Nothing strange had ever happened there. No footsteps, no whispers, no cold spots. I ignored the mirror. It came with the apartment. One night, I looked into it, and something felt wrong. My reflection looked calmer than me, rested. The next morning, I walked past carrying coffee. My reflection wasn't holding the mug. I froze. A second later, it copied me. I laughed it off. But after that, I noticed things. My reflection held eye contact too long. Its posture looked better. And sometimes, it looked like it knew something I didn't. It smiled more. Not openly. Just faintly. Like someone trying not to. I stopped looking directly into it. Days passed. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I got up to use the bathroom. The hallway was dark, except for the bathroom light. As I passed the mirror, I accidentally looked. My reflection was already looking at me. Not turning. Not catching up. Just standing there. Waiting. Same body. Same face. But the expression, it looked disappointed. Like I had interrupted something. I turned on every light. Nothing changed. I touched the glass. Cold. My reflection touched it too. I laughed at myself again. I went back to bed. But I didn't sleep. The next morning I moved the mirror. At least I tried. It was impossibly heavy. Not furniture heavy. It felt anchored. I pushed until my arms hurt. Nothing. So I covered it with a bedsheet. Problem solved. For 2 days. Then I came home from getting groceries. The sheet was folded neatly on the floor. The mirror uncovered. I checked the apartment. Windows locked. Door locked. No signs of anyone. I told myself I must have forgotten. But I knew I hadn't. That night I avoided the hallway mirror completely. I brushed my teeth using the bathroom cabinet mirror. When I looked up, my reflection looked normal, until I noticed something. My expression wasn't matching. I was nervous. The reflection wasn't. It looked relieved. Then it smiled. Not big. Just enough. I stumbled backward. And in that second, my face in the bathroom mirror changed. Not into something monstrous. Into me. Exactly me. Except older. Tired. Like someone who hadn't slept in years. Then it raised one finger, pointing behind me. I spun around. Nothing there. When I looked back, normal again. I left the apartment. Stayed in a hotel. The next morning I came back with my brother. I didn't tell him everything. Just said I wanted help removing a mirror. He laughed the entire time. Until we reached the hallway. The mirror was gone. Just empty wall. No marks. No outline. Nothing. My brother asked, "What mirror?" I pointed. He looked confused. There's never been one there. I thought he was joking. Then I checked old photos on my phone. Hallway pictures. No mirror. Videos. No mirror. Even the move-in photos. Empty hallway. I asked the landlord. He said the previous tenant never owned a mirror. Then he asked if I was feeling all right. I moved out a week later. I live somewhere else now. No mirrors outside the bathroom. No antique furniture. Nothing reflective if I can help it. But every now and then, I'll catch myself in a window at night, and for a split second, I look rested, calm, like I've finally gotten enough sleep. And sometimes, just before I look away, I swear my reflection seems disappointed that I noticed. I never thought dreams meant anything. Mine were always random places, faces, impossible moments forgotten by morning. Then 3 months ago, I dreamed of an apartment. A narrow hallway, yellow lights, crooked picture frames, a quiet kitchen with faded cabinets and a half-empty glass. Nothing happened. I woke up, but it didn't feel imagined. It felt familiar. The next night, I returned. Same apartment. And every night after that. Sometimes I sat in the living room watching static on the TV. Sometimes I stared at cracked ceiling paint. Sometimes I opened the refrigerator and just looked inside. Nothing scary ever happened. But every morning I woke with the same thought. These didn't feel like dreams. They felt like memories. Then I started noticing details. The dishes in the sink slowly disappeared across different nights. Objects moved. Groceries appeared. Blankets changed position. Time was passing. Whatever I was seeing wasn't resetting every night. It was continuing. That should have scared me. Instead, it fascinated me. I started sketching layouts and writing details in a notebook. Hallway, kitchen, bathroom, living room, bedroom. I knew the apartment better than my own. Then, someone new joined our office. His name was Daniel. Quiet guy. Mid-30s. Kept conversations short. Nothing unusual. Until lunch. A few of us were sitting together when someone asked if he liked living nearby. He shrugged and laughed. Still adjusting to the apartment. Tiny kitchen. Hideous green cabinets. I stopped chewing. He continued. Long hallway too. Makes the place feel smaller. Someone joked about old apartments, and Daniel kept talking. Bathroom near the entrance. Bedroom ceiling cracked. TV never worked right. My stomach turned cold. I knew every single detail. I had never spoken to him before. I spent the rest of the day convincing myself it was coincidence. Green cabinets weren't rare. Always existed. But that night, I dreamed again. Only this time I noticed something different. Hands. I looked down. They weren't mine. Different skin tone. Different shape. Older. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, and for half a second, I saw Daniel. Not clearly, but enough. Then I woke up. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Over the next few weeks, I paid attention. Daniel mentioned things casually. Being tired because he stayed up watching movies. That matched the dream. Complaining about doing dishes. Matched again. Talking about buying groceries. Same brands I'd seen. The worst part wasn't that details matched. It was the timing. Sometimes I'd dream something before he mentioned it. Like I was there first. I stopped sleeping properly. Stayed up late. Used caffeine. But eventually exhaustion always won. The dreams became clearer. Longer. I started hearing sounds. Footsteps. Water running. The refrigerator humming. Once I dreamed Daniel sitting on the couch. Only he wasn't moving. Just staring ahead. After a while, he slowly said, "I know." Then I woke up. At work, Daniel looked terrible. Dark circles. Pale. Like he hadn't slept. When everyone left the break room, he stopped beside me. Quietly, he said, "Do you ever have dreams that don't belong to you?" Then he walked away. I stood frozen. I wanted to ask what he meant. I never did. The next morning, Daniel didn't show up. Manager said he quit. No notice. Desk cleared. No goodbye. Nobody seemed interested. One coworker actually asked, "Wait, who?" Like she forgot him entirely. That scared me more than anything. I searched online. Nothing. No social media. No records. No trace. It felt impossible. Like he'd been removed. Eventually, weeks passed. No dreams. No Daniel. Life returned to normal. I started sleeping better. No strange feelings. No waking up exhausted. Just normal sleep. Normal mornings. Eventually, I stopped thinking about it. Then one morning, I woke up feeling more rested than I had in months. I smiled. And for a second, it didn't feel like my smile.
Hi, it's me, Sarah. The story may be over, but some nightmares never truly end. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join us for more terrifying stories here on Horror After Dark. And remember, sometimes the things that scare us most aren't hiding in the dark. They're already inside the house. Good night, and sleep carefully.